Someone did something to you, and now you're stuck with it. And somewhere along the way, someone decided to give you a quote or some well-meaning piece of advice, and instead, they basically told you it's your damn fault. You know what? Today we're going to take that framework apart and build you one that you can actually live with. Welcome to Here to Bloom. I came across an Alan Watts quote recently that stopped me. Your life is not determined by fate, nor is it random. It is shaped continuously by the quality of your actions, your thoughts, and your intentions. And you know what my first response was? Yes! That resonates. That's empowering. And then the second thought that came up was, yeah, but what if it's someone else's actions? And that is what shaped your life. What if your mom was an addict? What if you were born with a disability because of it? You know, what if you were assaulted and now you live with a traumatic brain injury? What if someone you trusted, someone who was supposed to love you, lied to you for years and now you carry an incurable disease because of their choices, their actions? What if you were violated and now you carry a pregnancy you never chose? These are just some of the lists of things that were done to us by evils of the world, and sometimes simply the carelessness of other people's of other people. When we are handed a philosophy on personal responsibility to someone in that position, without nuance, without care, we aren't offering them wisdom. We're offering them blame dressed up in wisdom clothing. But here's what Alan Watts goes on to say further. And this is the part that kind of changes everything. He clarifies that it does not mean that everything that happens is my fault. It means that all of our thoughts and actions have contributed to where we are. All of our thoughts and actions have contributed in some way to where we are. And I want you to sit with that distinction for a minute, because it kind of is everything. You know, it's not about saying that you caused what is done to you. It's saying that after it happened, that we still have a role. And it's a very difficult, but it's a beautiful role still, because we still participate in the outcome after the event. Someone else may have planted the fire, but we decide slowly and imperfectly and by really pure grace, what we decide grows in the ashes of that. So there are 4 ways that I think we can reclaim our responsibility. And to me, this is really important. How do we reframe this? How do we do it? How do we reframe the responsibility in a way that doesn't punish us for what was done to us, but actually sets us free? So here are 4 shifts that I think have helped me, or still helping me, let me clarify that, and that I believe can help you. Here's one. Responsibility is not the same as blame. It's just not. It's not the same as blame. Blame looks backward. It asks, whose fault is this? Responsibility is something that looks forward. It says, what do I do now with this? You did not choose what happened, but you still are the one who gets to choose what happens next. And that's not a burden, even though sometimes it feels like it is. That is actually your power returned to you. And the moment you separate blame from responsibility, you stop waiting for someone else or the person that caused the hurt to come back and fix what they broke. You get to take your own life back. You get to take your keys back to your own life. Number 2, your response is the seed. And Watt says plainly, he says, the seeds that we plant determine how we grow. Not the seeds that someone else threw into your field without your permission. Your seeds, the ones that you chose to plant in the aftermath. And anger is a seed. Grief is a seed. Resentment is a seed. But healing is also a seed. Hope, even though it's the tiniest, most uncertain hope, it's still a seed. And you don't have to be healed to be planting a healing seed. You just have to be willing. Do you hear that? You don't have to be healed to plant a healing seed. You just have to be willing. Number 3, the story of what happened is not the story of who you are. It's not. And this one is personal for me because what happened to us becomes the story about us if we let it. It becomes our introduction, it becomes our identity, our ceiling. But what happened there, it has to stay there. That event, that person, that moment, it doesn't get to write our whole story. It gets to be a chapter, not a conclusion. You are not the sum of what happened to you or me. You are the one. We are the ones who kept going. We are the ones still blooming. That's right. And number 4, freedom can begin with one single thought. Yeah, we sometimes think transformation requires this massive shift. It's like, oh, I have this breakthrough. Oh my gosh. Suddenly the world changed. Yeah. No. We're not looking for a breakthrough. We're not looking for a miracle. We're not looking for a complete reinvention of self. But Alan Watts understood something a little bit quieter than that. And he said, we are made free simply by changing one single thought in action. Just one. Not your whole life. One. Not your whole past. Not the entire weight of everything that has happened. It is not about denying it. No. It's one thought about moving forward, about reframing what has happened. I am not defined by this. I will not be defined by this. I am still here. I'm still fighting. Something in me is still reaching. And that one thought planted with intention begins to change the soil. Maybe you are not living in the life you planned. Maybe you're not even living the life you deserved. But you are living, and that living matters. Your living, our living matters. It is not an accident. It is not a punishment. And it is certainly not the final word on who you are. By sweat of brow, we are called to be the truth of who we are somehow. Because you know what? That was then, and this is now. And this right now is where your story begins. I don't need to carry the past with me. I don't have to take the thoughts that drag me through the muck. I don't even have to subscribe to reliving each mess that I made for the rest of my days. I don't need to pack the shame. I don't need the thoughts that blame. I live for the holy name. I'm cleansed, healed, and fired up by the holy flame. Stays there. What happened then was then. This isn't who I am anymore. I won't let how I thought shackle me to the floor. That was then, and this is now. By pure grace and sweat of brow, I'm called to be the truth of me somehow. What happened there stays. I don't need to pack the shame. No. I don't need the thoughts that blame. I live for the holy name. I'm cleansed, healed, and fired up by the holy flame. What happened there stays there. What happened then was then. This isn't who I am anymore. I won't let how I thought shackle me to the floor. That was then, and this is now. By pure grace and sweat of brow, I'm called to be the truth of me somehow. What happened there stays there. How I thought there stays there. And who I was there, well, that stays there. This is a safe place. This is an honest place. This is your place for healing. Let's do it together.